Now on the CTV News at 5, the Alberta Real Estate Association says the cost of buying a home in Lethbridge has gone up. Plus, the town of Taber is looking for input on the future of its recreation services. And
cross-ice pass, Van Mulligan scores! What a rocket from the top of the left wing circle. It's 3-0 Tigers.
The Medicine Hat Tigers extend their win streak to 11.
Telling your stories. CTV News Lethbridge with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. The number of drug overdose deaths in Lethbridge has continued to drop, but harm reduction advocates warn that may not tell the whole story. Quinn Keenan has more.
Lethbridge is on track to see its fewest overdose deaths in almost a decade. January through November of 2025 saw 14 overdose deaths across all substances. The fewest deaths in years tracked was 18 in 2016. The Ministry of Mental Health and Addiction said that it follows a provincial trend, saying in a statement, "We are continuing to see an overall decrease of about 39% in all opioid-related overdose deaths in Alberta since the peak in 2023. Harm reduction groups are also thrilled by the news. 2025 represents a significant drop from the all-time high of 122 overdose deaths in Lethbridge in 2023.
Well, I think it's great. It's encouraging. We think that any reduction in deaths is great. Every single life saved is great.
While the drop in deaths is good news, it may not mean fewer people are using drugs. Narcan kits have become more widely available in public spaces and through use by outreach teams. The number of overdoses reversed isn't tracked. Someone with a reversed overdose can still be left with serious health complications.
There still is a lot of overdoses occurring that maybe aren't resulting in death because we've really increased our community capacity to react to overdoses, I think, in the last few months. We have more people carrying Narcan.
The province says there's still more to do to tackle the issue of overdoses. More investment is being made into making recovery spaces available. The province says while we have made significant strides towards responding to the addiction crisis, there is still more work to do. We continue to build more recovery communities across the province, implement compassionate intervention, and continue to deliver recovery-oriented treatment and supports. Quinn Keenan, CTV News, Lethbridge.
A man from Taber has been charged with child pornography and firearms offenses. On February 11th, Alert's Internet Exploitation Unit, along with Taber Police, searched a home in the 4600 block of 51st Avenue in Taber. Officers seized multiple improperly stored firearms as well as child sexual abuse and exploitation material. 35-year-old David Coulter faces several charges. He was released from custody with multiple conditions and will appear in court next month. All right, turning now to the forecast and our Danielle Savoni. Danielle, definitely cooler out there today, but it will be warmer tomorrow.
Yeah. We'll start with the first thing you said. Definitely cooler out there today. Yesterday's high was 16, and today we're below freezing. And it's a one-day cool down. We will warm up. We're going to get some flurries push in from the south, though, this evening. And then we will warm up by tomorrow, and we'll have a lot of warm weather for this week right up until Saturday. Right now in Claresholm, it feels more like -8 with the wind chill. Lethbridge feeling more like -7 with the ambient temperature of -3. So yes, quite a difference a day makes. Medicine Hat at this point feeling more like -12. So yes, if you're not liking the colder weather, don't worry. The warmer weather is right here behind this because we're looking at much warmer temperatures by tomorrow.
All right, thank you, Danielle. We'll be learning more about how the provincial budget will impact the city of Lethbridge and whether any property tax increase will be coming to the city next week. The city's chief financial officer will be presenting an update to City Council on Tuesday about the provincial budget impacts. We asked the city of Lethbridge if residents could see any property tax increases, but the city did not answer directly. The provincial budget projects a $1 billion increase in property tax revenue over 5 years. That means in 2026, the average Calgary homeowner, for example, will pay an extra $340 to the province collected by the city. The mayors of Calgary and Edmonton are demanding the province backtrack. The cost to buy a semi-detached home in Lethbridge is 36% more than it was at the same time last year. That's according to a new report by the Alberta Real Estate Association. The report shows the average final sale price for houses in the city was $460,000 in February. That's nearly 15% more compared to the same time last year. Semi-detached homes, they sit at about $403,000, while detached homes have risen 10% to $497,000 last month. The association says 135 real estate transactions closed in February, which is down almost 3% compared to the same period last year. The town of Taber is asking residents to help shape the long-term future of recreation services. The town has launched a recreation facility study to guide future planning and decisions regarding indoor recreation. The study will look at long-term options for recreational space, which may include upgrades to existing facilities or potential new buildings. The study was approved last year, but an explosion at the Taber Community Center in December put it on hold.
I don't see it being an entire replacement of the community center because it was never really going to be that. It was going to be an additional facility. But because of what happened, we're probably able to dovetail some of the existing services provided into this facility. But of course, that's all going to escalate costs, right? So there'll definitely be some trade-offs are going to have to be made and decisions are going to have to be made.
You can find the survey on the town's website. Multiple engagement sessions will also be held throughout the month to gather more feedback. China is ending some tariffs on Canadian shellfish and canola, providing relief for farmers and fishers. CTV's Alex Karpa has more on what's next for Canada's canola growers.
So potential home out here for a bunch of yellow flowers this summer.
Curtis McRae is thinking about the upcoming farming season. His plans to grow around 2,000 acres of canola this year.
I'm holding the number very close to the same as last year, hoping for markets to rebound.
But last year was anything but easy. Punishing tariffs imposed by China on Canadian canola took a significant toll on farmers like McRae.
I'm out of pocket a bunch of money from last year. It took $1 billion out of family farms' pockets. And I don't think there's anybody thinking about replacing that.
As of Sunday, the 100% tariff on canola meal and peas and a 25% levy on lobsters and crabs won't be imposed by China any longer, a reprieve that will continue through to the end of 2026.
Initial reaction is optimistic because seeding's coming up soon, and hopefully I've made the right cropping decisions.
Prime Minister Mark Carney met earlier this year with Chinese President Xi Jinping, and the leaders inked a deal on electric vehicles and canola. Farmer Warren Ellis calls it progress, but says more needs to be done.
Better, but not the whole answer. I mean, it's better. It will allow some through, but there needs to be a lot of work done yet on that.
An economist says the suspension of some canola and seafood tariffs between Canada and China is a win-win for both parties, but says the duties could be reinstated if the relationship deteriorates again.
Diversifying our relationships, both economic and political, has advantages and disadvantages. In this case, the advantage is that we should be able to sell more canola and grain and other agricultural products. The disadvantage is we no longer can depend on a reliable American partner to protect us.
As for McRae, he says he's looking for stronger support from Ottawa to help ensure family farms can weather future trade disruptions and remain sustainable for years to come. Alex Karpa, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Latin culture is on full display at West Cooley Station Elementary School in Lethbridge. The school is hosting its own version of the Latin Grammys this evening. This is the first year the school has hosted the Latin Grammys as part of its Spanish bilingual program. Students from the entire school will be putting on performances throughout the event. Students have also been voting to select their favorite songs from categories, with the winners being announced tonight.
This would be our third annual Latin Grammys. We've done this before at Coalbanks, but coming here, brand new school community, there's a really strong sense of community and togetherness in doing this as a school-wide event. And you'll hear kids in the hallway talking about the songs, getting really excited about them. They're going to be really thrilled to see what the reveals are tonight.
The show goes tonight at 6 o'clock at West Cooley Station Elementary School. Well, Bryan Adams will be waking up the neighbors in Lethbridge and Red Deer this summer. Adams will be in Lethbridge September the 8th during his cross-country tour. Roll with the Punches makes a stop at the visitlethbridge.com arena. Ticket sales begin Friday at 10 a.m. Special guest Lights will join Adams on this tour. Now, the only other tour stop in Alberta is Red Deer. That's on September the 10th. It's time for our first break, and that brings Danielle back after the break in 2 minutes' time with the forecast. And according to a new study, Canadians are getting even less sleep. We look at the implications next.
All right, here's a Skywatch weather camera. Quite a difference a day makes, of course, as they say, because today we were below freezing. Yesterday in Lethbridge, for example, we got to a high of 16. Medicine Hat got to a high of 10. It's a little bit unsettled today, tomorrow. Tomorrow, even some communities could see some very weak thunderstorms. So there's a lot going on. We'll talk about all of this. -7 was the high in Calgary. -3 was the high in Lethbridge. -4 in Medicine Hat. Pincher Creek and Milk River did get above freezing for today to 4 and 3. Right now it feels more like -8 with the wind chill in Lethbridge. It feels more like -10 in Medicine Hat. Claresholm more like -7. So there's a wind chill out there. It's really a one-day cool down, and then temperatures will really accelerate starting tomorrow. And we're going to get those strong winds out of the west. We don't have them right now, as you can see here. Pincher Creek, southeast winds gusting up to 30 kilometers per hour. So this has been a very slow wind day. Medicine Hat 33, but it will pick up for tomorrow. Not excessively, but it will be windy enough out of the west to drive the temperatures up. All right, there's a stateside system, one pushing in from the west. There's a lot going on around us, as you can see here. We have mainly cloud cover right now, but we're going to get some moisture from this. Not a hugely significant amount for most communities, maybe a couple centimeters even of snow, though, tonight. I'll advance so you can see this. So it'll kick off as rainfall in the far south, and then it's going to actually switch over into some wet snow. Mostly, though, this should be to the east and the southeast of Lethbridge, and Medicine Hat should get the edge of this. But the chunk of it, the main chunk of it, should stay south of Medicine Hat. That lasts until about 5 in the morning, and then this will start to taper off. And then things clear out, as you can see here. Maybe some lingering cloud cover in Medicine Hat, but most communities will clear out in the far south. But later in the afternoon tomorrow, by around 3:30, there will be this line of instability, and we're going to see some showers on it. We may even see some very weak thunderstorm activity. That's what this model is suggesting, and many other models. So a little bit of lightning with that. Quick downpour, and then out of the way. But then this is going to switch over to some wet snow that will pump in on Thursday night. Another dusting to a centimeter. In some communities, we could even get a couple centimeters from that. Saturday should be mainly stable, but in the morning hours, there will be a light band of rain that will push through most communities. It should die out mostly before it gets to Lethbridge, but there may be some raindrops early in the morning in the far south because of that as well. So some activity for sure, but also some sunny breaks. -1 overnight with evening showers in the East Kootenay area, getting up to 10 tomorrow with gusts 40 kilometers per hour. Crow's Nest Pass, precipitation tonight, so rain switching over to wet snow, and then gusts tomorrow 50 kilometers per hour with a high of 7. And Medicine Hat, freezing rain is possible tonight, then flurries, and then flurries carrying into early tomorrow morning, but that will then clear out in a high of 5. 8 degrees for tomorrow in Lethbridge. Showers possible late in the day and a non-severe thunderstorm. Then we clear out for Friday and Saturday, looking at 9 and then 14 degrees.
A new survey finds 2 in 5 Canadians say they are getting fewer than 7 hours of sleep per night, and experts say that is a public health concern. CTV's Bryan Foley has a wake-up call on the problem of sleep debt.
I get lucky if I have 6 hours straight.
The latest sleep statistics are alarming. A new Leger study found 41% of Canadians are not getting enough sleep, and that number jumps to 52% in Atlantic Canada.
I think that there's a significant number of those Canadians who can't get enough sleep just because of life circumstances. People with little kids, people looking after older parents, shift workers, and so on and so forth. My problem is that there's probably a big chunk of them that could be getting enough sleep and are not making the choice that they need to make.
Dr. Greenberg calls it sleep debt, the gap between how much sleep your body needs compared to how much you actually get. According to the survey of those with sleep debt, 57% struggle to fall asleep and 71% report difficulty staying asleep. Even among Canadians who report 7 or more hours of sleep, nearly 65% say they struggle with falling or staying asleep.
Our bedrooms have become flex spaces. So creating a bedroom that actually feels like a place that your brain walks in and goes, oh yeah, it's time to go to sleep now.
If you're chronically sleep deprived, you're going to have reduced attention, slower reaction time, poor decision making, and this can show up in key areas of your life, like driving safely.
Of those surveyed, 39% say they are experiencing tiredness and fatigue, and 23% say they have lowered productivity. So we asked Maritimers if they think they get enough sleep.
Usually around 8 hours. I had sleeping issues in the past, so I try to have like a good routine before bed and not look too much at my phone.
Work, and then after work, well, honestly, you cannot work, you cannot sleep right away, right?
Yes, I do. I'm the queen of sleeping. Regular habits and schedules.
A tip psychologist Dr. Simon Sherry echoes.
Regulating our routine, picking a consistent bedtime and a consistent waking time, and sticking to that, recognizing how important sleep is.
An important wake-up call for many Canadians who struggle to get a good night's rest. Brianne Foley, CTV News, Halifax.
A new survey finds roughly 3 million Canadians are taking GLP-1 drugs, and millions more would like to. A Leger healthcare poll finds more than half of people taking the medications, which include Ozempic, reported decreased appetite, with 40% reporting fewer cravings. Weight loss is the #1 reason people take the drugs, followed by diabetes treatments. More than half of people who are interested in taking the medication say cost is a significant barrier. Still ahead on the CTV News at 5, we meet an 80-year-old basketball referee shooting for a world record. Sports is next. Medicine Hat Tigers are on fire right now. Their latest victim, the Regina Pats.
Here's a breakaway for the Tigers. Liam Ruck all alone. He shoots and scores.
Liam Ruck scored 3, including this one, which was reviewed and ruled a goal. He's got 39 on the season. The Tabbies dumped the Pats 11-2. They are unbeaten in their last 11 straight. The Tigers will look to continue to grow their win streak tonight in Brandon when they take on the Wheat Kings. Professional bull riding is back in Lethbridge. The PBR Tour Canada is making its annual stop in the Windy City this weekend. This marks the second stop on this season's Canadian Tour. Riders from around the world are eager to pick up some early season points. Nick Tates will look to defend his Lethbridge title and grow his early season lead. The PBR South Country Co-op Showdown is this Friday and Saturday at the visitlethbridge.com arena. A Saskatchewan basketball official is attempting to ref his name into the Guinness World Records. CTV's Donovan Mace explains.
In this Regina gym, an elementary girls basketball game has become one part of a potential Guinness World Record, but not due to the performance of any player. Aptly known as Big Mike, Michael Martirana runs up and down the floor at the spry age of 80. As he attempts to be the oldest active basketball official in the world.
I love basketball, and that's what it is.
Growing up on the streets of the Bronx, New York, basketball has been in Martirana's life for more than 7 decades.
We played almost every day.
He continued to hoop well into his 50s.
That's a good call. You're making a
foul in number 11.
As a former teacher and high school coach, he didn't start his career as a referee until almost his 60s.
I never liked referees at all. I didn't like them. I thought they were unfair, unjust, didn't know what they were doing. But when I became one, I became more appreciative of the job that they do.
Attempting the world record, his daughter's idea.
And she said, "Dad, how are your knees?" I said, "They're okay. I've had 2 knee surgeries, replacements, right? And your legs?" I go, "Yeah, still fairly strong."
To earn the title, he has had to confirm his age with Guinness and provide proof he is working official games through game sheets and video.
The last requirement they said to me was, we want you to do 1 game a month with the basketball for the entire basketball season. That's all, 1 game a month. Easy peasy, I can do that.
The job is a labor of love for the veteran official. He's quick to offer advice and encouragement in game to the young players.
If there was, 3 seconds in the key, he tells them what they did, and he takes the time to help the kids learn and grow.
Those are fouls?
These are fouls. No.
And now finds the most joy in mentoring younger referees like JL.
I don't think anyone would be able to beat his record for a long time, so I think he's a one-of-a-kind kind of ref.
Passing along his decades of knowledge to the next generation.
This helps somebody. This helps people, kids, especially the kids. I really care about them becoming better.
And 1 month out from his 81st birthday, Martirana has no plans to hang up the whistle anytime soon.
And someone said to me, Well, if you get the Guinness Book of World Records, and next year you come back and you do it, you can break your own record. I never thought about that. I didn't think about it in those terms. I said, well, I'll just keep doing it as long as I can do it.
Donovan Mace, CTV News, Regina.
Still ahead on the CTV News at 5, we have the story of a BC athlete who is overcoming challenges both in her sport and in the kitchen. Now to the story of an athlete with special needs who has turned a fear into fuel, both in the water and in the kitchen. Adam Swatsky reports.
When she first decided to try open ocean swimming, Malia Machman had to face a fear.
There's a seaweed.
You don't like seaweed?
No.
Having seaweed unexpectedly wrap around your leg can be startling, Coach Susan Simmons says, especially seeing as Malia is legally blind.
You're in the ocean and you can't see the shore very well and you don't know what's below you.
Despite that, Malia got so good at her sport.
Good job, Malia.
She regularly swims more than 4 hours straight.
That's amazing.
And was a finalist for the World Open Water Swim Association's Athlete of the Year.
She's the first known person with Down syndrome to swim 10 kilometers in the ocean in the world.
Competing at such a high level requires specific fueling, which proved to be a challenge with Malia's limited vision.
She has to make her own meals. Using the stove is not safe, so we started a little raw cooking class.
Malia started reimagining how to prepare her favorite food, and with Susan's help, created a week's worth of healthy recipes, all prepared in a unique way.
It's uncooked food in a jar. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner in a jar, and they're very simple.
Malia enjoyed it so much, making everything from chili with nut protein to spaghetti with zucchini noodles, that she published a cookbook.
I'm so happy for a cookbook.
So other people with Down syndrome, whether they're athletes or not, can be more independent and feel more self-confident.
So proud of myself and happy.
Although there's no seaweed in Malia's cookbook, the meals she now makes on her own will ensure that no matter what challenge she encounters in the ocean, she can keep swimming forward.
She's fearless, and she pretty much overcomes everything that she needs to.
Adam Swatsky, CTV News, Langford.
A ranch in Montana is saying goodbye to the winter weather and hello to the newest member of its family. The Clydesdale outpost in Whitefish, Montana welcomed Cleo, its first foal of the season. She was born almost right at the beginning of the Lunar New Year, which just happens to be the year of the horse. For now, Cleo is staying close to her mom in the barn, with more babies expected to come in the following weeks. Thank you for sharing this time with us. Now here's the early edition of the CTV National News.